What's up, guys? Jason Geiman here, and tonight we're going to talk about how to get more customers for your business. Now, I am sharing this on the Christmas light one and the pressure washing one because this will work for both. And this is not usually something that's talked about a lot of times, and that's why I want to hit on this tonight, because I see a lot of people struggle, and I want to tell you why. The reason why you are struggling a lot of time is because you don't have a plan, right? And if you go into something without a plan, you are going to plan to fail is what's going to happen. And so that's what I want to hit on tonight is a little bit. I've actually got a sheet for you so that way you can look at it, maybe copy it. I may try to put something together where if you want it, I can hand it out to you and send it to you, because it is one of those things that if you do not plan for the winter time, if you do not plan for August, September, October, November, that doesn't matter whether I'm talking about pressure washing, doesn't matter if I'm talking about Christmas lights, doesn't matter if I'm talking about gutter cleaning, whatever that might be. If you don't plan your marketing out for these strategies now, you will probably not do well later on. And so that is what I want to hit on tonight. And that is why I'm wanting to hit on this, because I want you all to be successful, right? I want you to know what you need to do to grow your business. And this is one way that you can know to grow is having a plan, so that way as this plan comes around, you will be able to grow your business. And so I will show you the sheet here once we get going, but that's kind of what my plan is for tonight. So with that, let's get this show on the road. My book of the week is going to be, I haven't posted this book in a while, and you know, I've actually been listening to another book, and it goes right along with this book. But I want to show you this book here, Think and Grow Rich, right? I think that this is a big book that you should read. It is a great book to listen to, and you need to listen to it about 5 times a year. And that's not even joking. And it is a great book because it's all about mindset. And if you have a bad mindset, it doesn't matter if we're talking about pressure washing. It doesn't talk about if I'm talking about Christmas lights, gutter cleaning, lawn care. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the right mindset, you will struggle in your business. And so that is definitely something that I wanted to hit on that book, and that is why I love that book. So before we get started, we got Mr. David Watts continuing the grind. We got Mr. George Yost, bring on the info. Big time is in the house. Door knocking ain't fun, or for the weak. No, it is not. But I will tell you something that you will learn lots of stuff by door knocking. You will sharpen other skills. I know that Christian's in here. He's been knocking doors, and he's been bringing home $1,500 and $2,000 days every time he does it. And so it's a skill that you learn. It's a skill that, you know, hopefully you don't have to do it forever. If you do, that you have to start figuring better ways to get other people to do it for you. But door knocking is definitely one thing that does work, and it's not easy, right? It's not easy, and I never said business is easy, and it is what it is. So Jose, how are you? Jason literally changed my life a few years back and got me out of debt. He is the real deal. Thanks, Jason. That is awesome right there. Beer to Soft Wash, here to learn. We got Mr. Sean from up in Canada. How are you doing? Awesome. So what kind of gets me on this is it's July, right? And with July, we know that a lot of times this is how businesses work. We'll go in our Christmas light groups and our pressure washing groups, and Johnny over here will say, man, this is really working for me right now. And so they'll be like, awesome, I'm going to go do EDDM. And they don't realize that Johnny has went and found what card works, what zip codes work, what everything else that works. And so it's a lot of times that we get to here, and the reason why I like to do this every 6 months instead of every year is because in 6 months something might have changed, right? Maybe I found that Google ads are really kicking butt, so I might want to double down. Maybe I found out that Google ads that I would double down in January, now we're in July and we're like, man, the ROI on these things, the return on investment on these Google ads kind of suck, right? And so that's why we need to understand what our marketing is, and that's why I like to plan, so we can sit there and plan for what are we going to do here. Because here's the other thing that I get a lot of times is people are like, yeah, I'm going to do yard sign like Jason said, and I'm like, have you ordered them yet? No. Okay, so you're not doing yard signs, or you got a whole garage full of yard signs because you ordered them last year and you never put them out because you never had a plan. You had a plan and you went and bought them, but you never planned to put them out. And when you don't, if you don't have a plan that you can start doing it, it's not going to work for you. It's just the way it is. You know, Christian was talking about in our mentorship meeting this week, and he was talking about how having a well-balanced life. And so he's working out a lot to become a bodybuilder, and so he can do his shows in October or November. But you got to have a plan, and he wants to gain 10 pounds of muscle and not of fat. And so he has to have a very detailed plan to be able to do that. And we're the same way in business, because if we're just like, well, man, I'm just going to do this and we'll get shiny syndrome and we'll be over here and we'll be doing that and we'll be over here, and we don't get nothing done, accomplished by doing that. And so that is why we want to have a plan of what it can look like. And we need to plan what our social media is going to look like. How many times are we going to post? How many blogs we're going to post? On what things are we going to post on where are we going to post? Are we going to do videos? And if we don't do these things, the problem of it is it won't happen. Right? I just tell you what's going to happen. It's not going to happen. Or we're going to be gun-ho and do it for 2 weeks, and then week 3, we're going to get busy and we're going to quit doing it. And it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about pressure washing, Christmas lights, gutter cleaning, lawn care, whatever you may do. This is usually what happens. Or you're like, I'm going to spend a bunch of money, or this is usually what happens is Jason, I want to make $100,000. Awesome. Well, how much are you going to spend to get that? I don't know. Well, how do you know you're going to make $100,000 if you don't even know what it's going to cost you to get there? And so I always say 10 to 15%. So now you can say 10 to 15%. Awesome. So 10 to 15% of $100,000 is 10 to 15,000. Are you going to spend it all in 1 month? Are you going to be stupid and go build a bad Mama Jama website? Are you going to do something else with it? What are you going to do with that $10,000 to $15,000 that's going to get you to that? Are you going to buy $10,000 worth of signs? Are you going to buy $5,000 worth of Facebook ads? Where are you going to do it, and how much per month? Right? Because right now I know in July, I don't need to be spending a whole lot in Christmas lights for Facebook ads, right? I can spend some, but I don't need to be spending thousands of dollars. Now, come November, I need to be spending thousands of dollars on Christmas lights and on gutter cleaning, but I don't need to be spending it on pressure washing because it's too cold to do pressure washing then. So it's all about planning, so that way as you plan, you will grow, right? You can start looking at it and seeing, what do I need to do? And this is something David Hamill, right? We just got in 1,000 yard signs and 30,000 flyers to go door to door to keep the pipeline full in our town of 80,000. We have been blessed to keep our 3 crews rolling, right? And he spends to do 1,000 yard signs, right? And he does over $1 million in business. And so some people get this idea that I'm just going to do this, or I'm just going to do that, or I'm not going to spend any money in marketing. I'm going to just, I get referrals, and referrals are just going to keep my pipeline full. And I just want to tell you something. It isn't, right? You can grow to a certain point, but even then you got to do more than just get referrals. I just do word of mouth, right? Okay, if you want your 10 customers, good for you. But it's all about what you have to do to start thinking now and putting it on paper, so that way you can hold yourself accountable. A lot of times you don't hold yourself accountable, right? And here's the other thing about this. I had another phone call with someone this past week, and they're like, well, how do I make sure that gets done? You're the business owner, right? You inspect what you expect. So if you have that, I'm going to put out 300 yard signs. Well, you better have 300 pictures, or something better be showing that you're doing it, because otherwise, how are you going to be able to do it? Or maybe you got someone doing your Facebook stuff. Well, you better make sure that you're checking it to see that it's getting done. Otherwise, it's not going to get done. And if you want to buy back your time and have someone else do it, that's fine. And that's called a business, right? But you have to make sure that it's getting done, and you have to inspect it of what you expect to make sure that it is getting done, because otherwise it might not be getting done. What you hoping to get done is just that, is hope. And as I've said before, hope don't get you nothing. If you want to do something, take the E off and you can hop around, and now you can do something, right? So if you want to hope, that's one thing, but that is definitely not what you need to do. So I'm going to give you, I agree, have a marketing calendar. I'm going to give you a little bit of a cheat sheet. You can copy off of it. You can do whatever you want. That's not what I wanted, but this is here. All right. And so what is your goals, right? What is your goals? So write down, what is your goals for the next 6 months? What is your goals? How many times are you going to do it per month, right? What's your monthly budget? Put it in here, right? Put it in here. Put in, I want to do, for Google posting. And if you see here, this is free, this is free, this is free. I'm not even doing anything for cost yet. This is free, or unless you're paying an SEO company. This, you do have to buy the door hangers. This is free. Yard signs, you do have to buy the yard signs. Google ads, Google local service ads, Facebook ads, EDDM, text blast, and on and on and on, right? You can do some other ones out here. And so, what you want to do is say, hey, I want to do 30 posts or I want to do 7 posts, because I've actually got it broke down to the week. So I want to do 7 a week. Right, so you can type in here. This is what what's your plan for the week is 7 posts per week. So you type in there 7 posts. My keyboard don't work worth a crap. 7 posts per week, and so that way, as you go here, week 1, how many did you do? Did you do them or did you not? Did you do I wanted to, but I didn't get to? Right? And that means I want to grow my business, but I don't want to do the hard work to get it to grow. Right? And so that's how I made this here. So that way, if I know, hey, you know what, in September and October and November, whether this is for Christmas lights, gutter cleaning, I want to put out, what's your plan per each week? I want to put out 400 yard signs, right? Because this was yard signs. So I would put in here 400 yard sign. This is my goal, 400 yard signs, right? So that means I have to put out 100 per week. That's my goal. Or what is your plan per week is 100 per week, or maybe it's 25 per week, whatever it is. And then that way, this holds you accountable to make sure that you are getting it done. Because if you don't check it, it's not going to get done. And that's where I see people struggle at, and they think that, Jason said this business was easy. Well, I'm going to tell you something. This business is not easy, right? It takes work. It takes work to be able to get you to $100,000. It takes even more work to get to $500,000, and it takes more people and smart people to get you to $1 million. Right? You're not going to do it on your own. You're going to have help at that point. And so, and you got to be able to have a calendar to keep you accountable, because if you don't, it won't happen. I promise you, it will not happen if you do not keep this thing a calendar of putting stuff in a calendar. If you don't be like, hey, this is my goal per week, this is what I want to get done. And right now, guess what? You're slow, right? Most people right now in July, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people in July are slow. Why? Because you didn't do this. Because here's another thing on this calendar is you should have been putting on how many commercial accounts are you going to go talk to? How many commercial things are you going to do a month? Because the goal is to put your commercial in June, July, and August, because we know as pressure washing, it slows down. And if you're doing this in Christmas lights, it's not even, this is time that you can go sell, right? You can start selling now in the Christmas light season of this here to commercial work and get the HOAs and all of those things. But right now, if you're going to do this, this is why you needed to do this in January, so that way when March, April, May, you were knocking on doors of commercial and you were going to the networking meetings, so you could get your calendar full now, so your guys ain't laid off or you ain't making no money, right? Because that's what you got to do it. Now, if you are slow now, this is the time to do this stuff, right? And January is a good time to do this again, because it's cold and it's snowy and you've got all your lights down and whatever. This is the time to do this then also. So that's why it's good to do it in January or probably December and June, July, right? I know I'm just now hitting on this in June and July, but I'm doing it because I want to help you, so that way you can understand why you can't grow your business. Because if you do not put a plan together, here's the thing. I can say, man, I want to lose 100 pounds. But if I don't come up with a plan of, I'm going to quit eating crap, I'm going to start working out, I'm not going to eat the Snicker bars, I'm not going to eat the dessert, I'm not going to eat the rolls, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff, and I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to eat this. Otherwise, you're going to plan to fail, right? Because you're not going to keep your plan. And like I say, this is usually what happens is you guys go get on YouTube, you go get on all these other Facebook groups, and you're like, well, this guy's getting great results out of this. And it's like, okay, like I've got a client that does really good with mailers for pressure washing. But when he sent the mailers out last year for Christmas lights, it was a big fat dud, right? It didn't work as good as the pressure washing side. So yes, it worked over here, but the card he sent out over here did not work as good. So you got to know what you need to do to be able to plan it and keep it. And here's the thing, here's the awesome thing about this, right? And the reason why I put all these up there is when you get busy, or when the phone starts calling, it'll be like, well, this one came off of a Google post, this one came off of Facebook, this one came off of a LinkedIn, this one called off of a yard sign, right? You'll get 4 or 5 leads from 4 or 5 different lead sources. If you don't do these 4 or 5 different lead sources, guess what? You're going to get 1 lead, because that's all you've been doing. If you did yard signs, and you wouldn't have got the other ones, right? And so, yes, yard signs do work great. I'm not saying they don't, but I'm trying to show you that you can get leads from a lot of different sources by doing this. So this is why it is important that we fill this out and do that now, so that way when we get, because here's the other thing that happens. We get into October and November for Christmas lights, or for gutter cleaning if you're a pressure washer, or you get into pressure washing in September when it starts to pick back up, hopefully. September, October, depending on what happens this year. But you get into that season and then you're like, I need to get more leads. And you haven't done the work to get the leads. And if you do the work and you believe and do the leads, you'll get work. That's usually how that works. So that is what I wanted to hit on tonight, of your marketing What are you got planned for your marketing? Because here's the other thing. There is no secret weapon on how to get hundreds and hundreds of leads, right? David Hamill gets hundreds and hundreds of leads because I know he does. He's buying 1,000-yard signs. That's not nothing new. He did it last year, right? This right here, this is what's called hitting the nail on the head. He knows that those 1,000-yard signs and those 30,000 door hangers are going to make him money, but he could have went and he does do SEO stuff. He does do Google ads. He does do Google local service ads. And how do I know? Because I've looked at his website. I don't know about Google ads, but I'm sure he does. He does SEO. He's got videos and he's got pages and right. He's done all of these things to help it grow, but he still buys 1,000-yard signs and 30,000 flyers. Why? Because it works. When you start hitting a nail on the head and it starts going in, you don't stop and be like, "Ooh, shiny object over here," right? And then you start knocking on this head and you hit it 2 times and you're like, "Shiny object over here." And the next thing you know, you got no leads, you got no work because you're jumping here, there, and everywhere, right? And so that is why it is important to, what I usually say is find 1 to 2 things and become really good at it before you start working on all the other things. Yes, you can throw mud up on the wall and see what sticks and kind of see what's working to get leads. And once you find out what's getting you leads, you don't stop. Because what happens is they're like, "Oh, over here, I don't want to do work. I just want to pay money, blah, 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 blah," right? But what happens is you quit hitting the nail on the head, and that nail quits going in, and you quit getting leads. Because we're here, there, and everywhere. But when you hit that nail on the head, it will work. I promise you, over and over and over. That's just the way it is. You know, I've been, if you don't listen to the game on Alex Hormozy, he's like, it's all the boring crap, right? It's the monotonous, boring crap what grows your business. Yard signs, are those sexy? Hell no, they're not sexy. I'll be the first to tell you, I think they're trashy. I think they look like crap. But I also think they look like $100 bills all day long, right? I knew a guy that knew that every yard sign he put out was worth like $50. So guess what? $50, $50, $50. Put them babies everywhere because I know that's $50, right? Because I know that I put out this many yard signs and it brought me in this much money. I'm not going to stop that. Why would I stop my $50? Right? Because that's stupid. And some of them might be worth more if you know how much they're worth. But that is why it is important that you understand your marketing plan, right? If you don't plan, you're going to fail. That's just usually how it works. So, with that, we'll get started on reading questions. If you guys got questions, you can literally ask any pressure wash Christmas lights. I know I'm on both, so if you want to ask questions on either one, I'm more than open to answer either question. Jason literally changed my life a few years ago and got me out of debt. He's the real deal, folks. I appreciate that. Bearded Soft Wash, here to learn. My mind state has changed so much since January. I've learned so much. Thank you, Jason. And that's all I'm trying to help you guys to do, right? Because if you can change your mindset and you can understand and you can believe in yourself and believe that you are awesome and you are awesome, guess what? You can do amazing things. There's nothing special about David Hamill doing $1 million. There's nothing special about anybody doing anything. It's about doing the things that suck a lot of times, right? And doing them over and over and over and over. Originally, I was going to talk about on there tonight about customer service. And it kind of goes with this, but not really. I want to hit on this because it's still fresh in mind. So actually this weekend, my daughter went to pre-med camp down at Bob Jones University down in Greenville, South Carolina. And me and my wife took her down on Sunday, and we hung out down in Gatlinburg Wednesday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We came back home Wednesday morning and picked up my other daughter from Grandma and Grandpa's. We drove back down there Thursday, picked up my daughter on Friday, and we spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg this weekend. And while we were there, we went to the place that some of you may have been in with is I think it's J&L or something. They got the monkey, and the customer service sucks, right? They want you to jump through 10 hoops to get to go see this monkey, and he's a pretty cool monkey. It's pretty crazy, pretty smart little sucker, but they first off, you had to wait in line to get your tickets, and then you had to come back 45 minutes early. They didn't have nothing at that time. They booked this out like 2.5 hours later. They booked this out 2.5 hours. Then they told us to come back 45 minutes early so we can get our wristband. Then it's like, you want me to jump through hoops after hoops after hoops. And a lot of you do this in your business, right? You got this form on your website that's got 57 questions. Make it simple for your customers. If you make it too hard, they're not going to buy from you, right? If you make them jump through hoops and do this and do that, and right, it's just going to be a pain in the butt, and they're not going to buy from you. And so, when you think about your customer, when you buy something, think about the steps that they put you through, and see if you're doing that to your customers. See if you're making them jump through 57 hoops to do one thing, because at that point they have a problem and you don't even have a solution, because you got 57 problems that go in front of that solution. And so, and you can tell me, oh, Jason, you just don't understand my area. Bull crap. Don't make it hard on your customers. When you make it hard on your customers, nobody wants to be there. I'll tell you another one. So most of you know that I am the captain of water rescue. And one of the things when I took over captain of the water rescue, I looked at the way that we got new volunteers. And it was this big long sheet that had tons of questions, like questions that nobody literally is going to answer to join, like your height and your weight and things that have nothing to do whether or not you should be joining water rescue or not. And so I took it down and made them make it a simple form, right? Your name, email address, and maybe what you want. So then that way we can bring you in, and then we can get more information if we like you or you show up. Because we also know in the world of 2024, not everybody's going to show up, right? Not everybody's going to show up. And so I got some other friends that run another organization that's a county over or two, and they're trying to join. And listen, when we put out an application thing for boat operators, we got over 130 applications. Now, only 40 of those made it to the next step because the rest of them either didn't show up or thought it was paid or whatever. So they never made it. But we still got 40 applications that showed up on a Thursday night or Tuesday night, whatever. So we said about this, and so he put it out. And I looked at their form, and again, they got you got to print it off, and you got to fill it out, and then you got to email it back in. Nobody's going to do that. I promise you. You got to make it simple. In 2024, you got to remember, people got ADD like no other from these things, right? They're like, I think it's like a second, 1 to 2 seconds. If it takes more than 1 or 2 seconds, they're gone. And if they can't figure out what your website says in 1 or 2 seconds, like you go like this and take it and they can't figure out, they're gone, because that's just the way it is in 2024. It's a now society. It's not, you order something on Amazon and it shows up next tomorrow. Sometimes if you're in a good area, it'll show up the same day. So it's a now society. People doing Uber and people doing DoorDash. It's crazy because it's a now, right? They do it and 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, there it is. So make that with your customers. Make it simple. Make it easy. Don't make it overcomplicated. What's the best time of the day of door knocking? Probably when they're home. And when are they going to be home? Probably from 4 to 8 o'clock, and also on the weekends. Those are probably going to be your best days to door knock. Super slow, July, only 2 jobs this July. All my effort from Q1 and Q2 is starting to show this month. And that's why I tell you all to do the things of getting your stuff done in March, April, May, when you're busy and you're not thinking about July and August. You're just trying to get all the work done. And this is why that is important that you do that. Jason, I'm pressure washing my first church this week. Awesome. Get lots of pictures, right? Get lots of pictures, get lots of videos, be in nice clothes, be in your uniform, get these videos. So that way, because it's kind of a snowball effect, right? When people can see that you do bigger jobs, you will get bigger jobs. If they see you just doing the trailers, you're probably going to get more trailers. But when you start doing jobs like that and you get bigger jobs and bigger jobs and bigger jobs, and that's how you're able to do that. Just ordered 1,000 yard signs, 3,000 or 30,000 door to doors. Keep the pipeline full in a town of 80,000. And he has lots of competitions too. What do you think about getting a billboard? My brother gets lots of business that way with his masonry business. I know some people that have done well with it, but most people I know have not done well with it. I did it. It didn't do well for me. I think masonry might be a little bit different than pressure washing, but I think if you do, you're definitely going to have to, like I say, the people I know from it have not done well from it. You have a marketing calendar and you work your butt off to make it, get it done, right? And this is right? It's not you work 8 hours and to make it happen. No, you work your butt off to get it done. You got to do whatever you have to do to make it happen, right? If you got to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning, you're staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning to get it done. So you have to get it done. I did 2,000 plus EDDMs and haven't got a job, unfortunately. And so sometimes it's your ad, it's a picture, it's the time you sent it, it's how you sent it, anything can be on it. Nobody cares about your business more than you do. What was your, and then you got to have a good offer. I didn't have an offer on them. I followed Mr. Bubbles flyer and before and after picture. You got to have an offer on it. And I'll give you another thing. Dollars work better than percentages. Percentages don't work as good as dollars. And a good one to do is like $100 off $1,000, because that way you're going to drive your average ticket up to get that $100 off. You're not going to just give it to everybody, but you're going to give it to there. And before and afters ain't always the best. You want a nice house, right? Because I don't care. The people that I want to clean for, usually their houses aren't dirty. If it's a dirty, nasty house, typically they're not calling you anyway, because it's a dirty, nasty house, right? And so that is why that's why you want to put a nice picture of a house with your vehicle in front of it, or maybe you are doing the driveway in your nice uniform, right? And it's a clean house and it's a big house, because those are the houses that we want. Is David doing that in Christmas lights? If so, he's doing that in pressure washing in both. Always have an offer, a call to action, and make them a limited time offer. Ours are only good for the next 7 days. We offer $75 off any house wash or roof wash. I'll definitely do when I send them out before fall. Thanks. And the other thing too is if you only sent out one batch, they ain't gonna work. You have this EDDM. It takes the third, the fourth, and the fifth time before they start working. So if you're gonna send out 10,000, don't send them out to 10,000 different houses. Send them out to 2,000 houses 5 times, because you're gonna get a way better ROI on that than you are on 10,000 different houses. You want to hammer down on it, right? You want to hit it and hit it hard. Every 4 to 6 weeks. I know some people are saying it a little bit earlier than that, but 4 to 6 weeks usually work pretty good, and it takes a lot of work to get them out. If you just send out 10,000, you just pissed away your money. Is all you did at that point. Because you probably didn't get no calls at all. My sales guy. Let's see here. Where are you at? Where are you at? Shoot. I was on a roll. My sales guy closed a 26,000 Section 8 apartment complex this week. Sold it by following up on an estimate over and over that he gave 9 months ago. And that's what it's about. The key is the follow up is the gold, right? You got to follow up. What I don't remember who I can't think. I see his picture. I can't think of his name. Follow up or fold up, and it is true. You got to follow up. If you don't follow up, you're going to lose money. A plan keeps you consistent so you don't have the yo-yo sales cycle. Amen. I need to build up that door knocking confidence. I'm doing everything else but that. Mess around with to get a whole neighborhood when one person sees our quality of work. It's not easy. I'm going to tell you right now. It is not easy. But if you can learn that skill, you can sell to anybody at that point. Usually. Been posting in Facebook groups and only have had one call for Windows. I hate Windows. Track everything so you know what works and what does not. Nothing worse than spending money on things that don't work. And so, have different tracking numbers, have different landing pages. You can have different landing pages. I know, like if the phone numbers is probably the easiest way to track some things. Landing pages are easy way to track different quote forms. Like it can be the same quote form, but it's on a different page. That's a different thing. You got to track, because if you're not tracking, you're basically guessing is all you're doing. Beard it maxed out LSA for window cleaning. It works sometimes. Some people have really good luck with this, and other people don't have such good luck. And I don't know why, but it is. It sure is hard to not get sucked into the political discussion on Facebook, but I have been successful. It's really easy to do that. LSA, local service ads. Year to date, for every dollar on yard signs netted me $27. Yep, so put more out. That's a pretty good little thing. Local service ads, yep. I'm having trouble finding insurance. Got quoted $247 with a local company. Yeah, that's $2,000, $2,500, $3,000. That probably, it might be a little steep. Our customer service is the best. Hi from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. What's a good strategy on door knocking? I knock on most jobs and have a decent at having a good interaction, but struggle to find the words to do a quote on the spot. So one thing you can do to kind of start doing door knocking, the easy way to do it is if you have a job in a neighborhood. Now, this would be considered a warm lead. So if you have a job that is in a neighborhood, and instead of doing the 5 around at the end, you do the 5 around in the beginning. And what you do is you go up and knock on it and say, "Hey, Miss Jones, just to let you know," or "Hey, whatever your name is, I'm over here, Nate, washing your neighbor's house. It might be a little loud, but we shouldn't take us too long and we can get done. Here, if you need any pressure washing stuff, here it is," right? Because that's just an easy way to do it. And you can say, if you need me to quote anything, I can do it today if you'd like, and you can leave it as an open-ended question, right? And that's one way you can do it. If you're going to door knock and you're going to go out there and do it, you're kind of trying to figure out, are they going to buy or not pretty quickly, and you're going to have to be like, hey, just seeing it, we're in the neighborhood. You want to kind of name drop, like if you know another person got a quote in the neighborhood. Hey, we just quoted Miss Jones down here at 2727, and I was just walking to a few neighbors to see if you all would need any pressure washing while we're in the area. We'll be able to get you quickly, and if you would like a quote, right? So we can name drop will also help us out with that too. Hey Jason, we're in Gatlinburg the same time you were. I think you were more people in town than I live in. Actually, I didn't think it was too busy. I thought it was a little sad this past week. Monday, it was dead. We were there Monday, it was dead. Tuesday wasn't much better. Friday picked up a little bit, and then today, last night, the strips were pretty busy, but I was kind of shocked. We were able to get a cabin and everything and at a pretty big discount. So, get out there and write your own check. Be a lion and hunt. We can wait for food. Just closed at $1,300 with an in-person quote because I made them feel comfortable and went above and beyond. Doing door-to-door only, doing concrete cleaning. Do you recommend me to get an LLC now or hold off? I do house washing. You can get an LLC. It doesn't cost you that much. It's like less than $200. So I would say go ahead and get your LLC. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Artie. Barry Little. Website visitors will spend on average 10 to 20 seconds before they leave site. Have to make a great impression and grab their attention. Make it easy for your customers to use. Answer your phone every call. Make it easy to pay you. Make it easy to leave you a Google review. Give them the tools to make it easy to refer you. I see so many times people want to make this hard, right? They make it hard. My mom turned 70 today, and we were at her birthday party, and my aunt's there, and she's like 82 years old. And she was trying to get a roof done, and she don't have an email. And the guy's like, I might not even do this job. And she's like, well, let me talk to your boss, right? I don't have an email. She probably can't pay by, she's not going to be able to get an invoice. And so, yes, it's going to be harder for you to do that. But you got to remember who is your customer and who has the money sometimes. So just to think about something. Let's see here. What's up here? What are your thoughts on leasing Christmas lights versus homeowner owning them? My thought is the homeowner owning them is a stupid one. Is my thought on it. Here's the deal with it. If you want a reoccurring money and make a lot of money, you want a leasing model. Now, I do know a guy that, and I know some, and I'm going to give you a little hint here to people. I do know some people that will charge like $12, $14 a foot to buy them, and that way they own the lights at the end of it, and they charge 50% every time you go to put them up. So you're still making $7, $8 a foot to put them up every year. And so that is a smart way of doing it and still make money at it, right? If you're going to do the selling model, I don't recommend it because the problem with the selling model is what happens when you got to go back and fix them? Is that going to be a service call? How much are you going to charge on that service call? Because here's the problem: when people try to sell them, then they want to go put them up for $150, $200, and you're not making no money at $200, right? To take the chance of falling off of a roof. So that's why I don't do that. Evening on Sundays. Every Sunday night at 9 o'clock, I go live and every Wednesday night. If you want to sign up and know when I go live, you can text the word King, Kinj, um, to 859-696-1101. I picked up a job today that was done last week by another business that didn't give them the same results they wanted. I watched their friend's house last year and they loved the results. Wives talk. I still get a kick out of those advertising that see that people offer discounts and still be washing for 100, 200, 500, 250. If you offer discounts, you better know your cost of business. They don't. I'll tell you, they don't know their number. How do you figure out where to send flyers? So the best way to do this is you can go to the EDDM. There's a tool on the EDDM. That's one way. I can show you another way here too that you can do. There's another tool. This is a little bit old. It's called the Justice Map. I think it still works, but this is kind of an older data. It's not up to date, but you can kind of scroll in and see, like, the darker the blue, the higher the income. And so a lot of times if you click on it, it will tell you also somewhere. It used to tell you, I don't know if it still does or not, it would tell you how much the money was in that area. But the darker the blue, the better off it is. And so that's one way to do it. The other way you can go to is just put in EDDM tool. And every door direct mail has their own tool. And so you can go in here and then you can just start putting in zip codes and different numbers. That's not the tool. Where's the tool at, Jason? Business. Online tool. And then you can just put in your address or the zip code. And so, like, I can put in Cincinnati, and it will pull up Cincinnati, and then it will tell me what areas I want to be in, is what it should. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know if Cincinnati will work or not. But this way, it will tell you how much in that zip code, or how much in that mailing route the average person makes. So that's how you're able to go and find where you want to be at. Maybe, if it'll work. But it's not working right now. But yeah, that's how you want to be able to do that. I'll see if it comes up here or if not. But that's the tool that you want to use. It's a great tool. Advantages, disadvantages. The sliders on our website keep people on my site for an average of 2.5 minutes. People get mesmerized by them. If you don't know what sliders are, you can see ours. Jason can share our site if he likes. I'll put some more people. Here's the other thing. I always remember people on Facebook didn't want other pressure washing people on their site, which is kind of dumb. And I'll tell you why. Because what do pressure washers do when they get on people's sites? They click on every button. They're there forever. And guess what? Um, 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 Google loves that, right? Because the longer you're on the site, the better off that you are. So that's why you do that. Um, I'll show you what he's talking about here. Let's see. So again, one of the things you want to know is right when you get on here, what do you do really fast? And so, you're an exterior washing company. So as you scroll down, you can see the learn more. It'll give you more. Lynchburg, Virginia. My mouse is being. You can also go zero damage. It's going to just check different things. Again, by doing this, it's going to keep them all on here longer. And that's what the goal of it is how long is someone going to be on there? The sliders, people love these sliders. Whoop, whoop, the dirty, clean, right? That's a way that you can see the dirty and clean. But yeah, so this is a way that you can do the dirty and clean. But yep, that's the website. Let's see. Going to start pressure washing business. Some of these numbers I've been hearing are wild. When are you going to tell me I won the 100-yard sign? Actually, I was supposed to do that tonight. Probably not going to do it tonight because I didn't put it all in there. So if you didn't know, I am giving away 100-yard signs for Christmas lights. I'll give it away Wednesday night, since I forgot. You can go to christmaslights.io/yard-signs, and that was where you can get it. Roger that. Practice your script in the mirror over and over and over. At what point do I quit my main job for pressure washing full time? When you have enough business to keep feeding you and sustaining you and keep you going. That's when you do it. Remember, every day needs to be safe. Safety is a must on every job or to form. Your responsibility and responsible for it. So, F-bomb, like sending me nasty pictures of people doing stupid stuff. And one of the guys got chemical down his boot and it burnt a hole in the top of his foot. So back to, you got to be careful out there, guys. It is dangerous, and we work with chemicals, and chemicals can hurt you. So that's why you always need to make sure that you are safe. So it was a pretty nasty, probably looks like to be a 2nd-degree burn in the top of his foot. And so you have to be careful out there. Also, in this heat, if you're washing roofs, make sure you're wearing respirators, because you are, as soon as that roof hits, that chemical hits that roof, it becomes a gas, and that is the most dangerous way of getting hurt from chemicals, right? Because it goes into your lungs, and when it goes into your lungs, it can screw you up big time. So definitely wear respirators, for sure. Again, if you want to go check out King of Pressure Washing, I do have some upcoming classes coming up, a pressure washing class and a Christmas lights class coming up in July. I also have my in-person or online training, and on the online training is also every Monday night we talk about marketing, and we go over all different kinds of marketing. We go over Facebook ads, words, Facebook ads. We go over AI. I go over all kinds of stuff, so you better go check that out. But other than that, I hope you all have a amazing week this week. Again, I know it's July 14th. If you all are in Christmas lights, we are about 2 months away from being full swing in Christmas lights. So I love Christmas lights. Christmas lights are awesome. But other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all later.